I've got some really distressing news. So, on the 14th of October 2025, Windows 10 support is ending. It's done, finished, no more updates, no more security patches. That's it, basically. Now, if you have a Windows 10 machine, it won't stop working on the 15th of October, but you're not going to be covered by Microsoft unless you pay them some money to get a little extension. The good news is, there's an alternative, and you're possibly watching this video because, well, for one of two reasons. Either you're a Mac user already and you just want to gloat and laugh, which isn't fair. Stop laughing at the back. It's not nice. I'm not making this video just to poke fun at Windows users. I'm making it because going from one of these to one of these is a lot simpler than you might think. And in this video, firstly, I'll explain what's happening with Windows 10, and secondly, I'll break down some of the misconceptions about switching from Windows to Mac. Firstly, I promise I won't keep making Windows jokes in this video because it's quite a serious matter. If you've got a Windows PC or laptop that you rely on for your business or just something at home, if it's your cherished computer, this isn't great news. So I won't keep making jokes, I promise. This is a very quick synopsis of what's going to happen to Windows 10 after the 14th of October. So basically, support ends. If you go into, I presume anyway, if you go into Windows Update after that date, nothing. You won't get any security updates, you won't get any new stuff. It's just not supported anymore. And you can't get support from Microsoft unless you pay for an extended security update for 1 extra year. No idea how much that costs. Or, as it says here, buy a new PC. Don't do that just yet. Some other things that you need to know. Windows 10 will still work. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not going to stop working on the 15th of October. That's very important to bear in mind. If you're running Microsoft 365, those apps will lose support, but they will still get security updates until 2028. Office 2016 and Office 2019 will have no support after October 2025 as well, and Office 2021 and 2024 will run still. In fact, it will all run, but none of it will have support. I think that's right. Anyway, basically Windows 10, you're on your last legs with Windows 10 after October this year. So let's go through 6 misconceptions you might have about going from that to that. Misconception number 1 is that Macs are stupidly expensive, and yes, if you spec up a Mac Studio or a 16-inch MacBook Pro, it gets very expensive very quickly. However, that's for a completely different audience. For most normal people like me, and possibly like you, I've got 2 examples which completely blow that theory out of the water. The base model M4 Mac Mini starts at $599, and the base model M4 MacBook Air starts at $999, and both of them can be had for less if you're a student, and both of them are the best examples of that type of computer on the planet. Misconception number 2 is that you don't have enough time to set up a brand new computer, particularly if it's a Mac and something you've never touched before. The good news is it's really easy. Firstly, setting up a Mac by itself is a few steps and you're done. Trust me, I do set up a lot of Macs in this business, as you can imagine, and it's just very straightforward. You can also transfer everything from your Windows computer to your Mac very simply. And if you happen to have an iPhone, and there's probably a stat out there which reveals that a lot of Windows users have iPhones, you can actually use your iPhone to set up your new Mac. So when you go through the setup process for Mac OS, you get the options to transfer from a Windows machine, from a backup, set it up as a new Mac, or use your iPhone, and that takes all of your login details, your Wi-Fi stuff, everything, and puts it onto here. Yes, files and things you'll need to copy across, and you may have some misconceptions about the software that you run on this that you don't think you can run on this, but we'll cover that later. Trust me though, setting up a Mac, particularly if you have a Windows machine, an iPhone, is really, really easy. The other thing you need to transfer from this to this is all of your favorite website usernames and passwords, and the good news is this video's sponsor, RoboForm, can help. RoboForm is a password manager into which you put all of those important login details. It helps you set up new logins with just a few clicks. It's got a one-click login feature which does exactly what it says on the tin. One click and you're straight into your favorite website or web app. It's got an emergency access feature. It's got 24/7 support, but the most important thing is the fact that it works on Windows and Mac OS and Android and iOS, but that means that all of the login details that are on here magically appear on here. Easy, and the best news is we have a fantastic deal for you. Click that link down below. Misconception number 3 isn't really a misconception because it's true. And I know this because I've done it. I've switched from Windows to Mac. I did it back in 2005, I think it was. And it's the fact that going to one of these does feel a little bit like learning a foreign language because everything's different. Everything's just weird and strange. And for instance, for me, the biggest thing was going from doing Control plus whatever key it is to do a shortcut to Command plus key. You basically have to completely relearn muscle memory that you've built over many, many years. However, it doesn't take as long as you think. And the good news is things like Alt-Tab, they work, and some other stuff feels a little bit like Windows. And the stuff that doesn't feel like Windows is actually better. It just takes a bit of persistence, a bit of practice. And trust me, after a couple of weeks, you'll be thinking, why on earth did I not do this sooner? Misconception number 4 is that Microsoft Office doesn't work on the Mac. It does. Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook. I use Outlook every single day. It's my favorite ever macOS email client. All of that stuff works. Now, there might be edge cases. If you're a real power user for Excel, there might be certain things that you only get in Windows that you don't get in macOS. But even that, I would be very surprised. Just do a bit of research just to make sure that's not the case if that's you. But for most people, it's not a problem. It just works. And I think it looks a bit better on the Mac. Misconception number 5 isn't a misconception once again because it's true. It's the fear that you're going to get locked into the Apple ecosystem. It will just happen. And to be honest, if you've got an iPhone already, you're halfway there. You just need to get rid of that, get one of those, and then you'll find yourself buying an Apple Watch, buying an Apple TV, an iPad, and before you know it, that happens. And yes, it's annoying that you feel that you can't go for an Android phone in the future. I've been there, trust me, but the trade-off is that everything just works. Misconception number 6 is that Windows is better than macOS. Now, I know this is the most subjective thing on this list, I think, but in my humble opinion, that is utter rubbish. If you take the time to get used to macOS and get over all of the intricacies that come with it versus being a Windows user, trust me, like every other person I've met who has gone from Windows to Mac, you'll be thinking, why didn't I do this ages ago? Everyone says that who goes from Windows to the Mac. It's just fact, I think. Now it's over to you. I want to hear your Windows to Mac stories. Have you got on with it? Have you not got on with it? Do you want to disprove my theory that this is better than this? Get involved down below. And if you've come this far and you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, please. It makes a massive difference. And if you're new to this channel and you might be making this switch, I think we could be good friends, which means hitting that subscribe button is definitely a good idea. See you in the next one. I'm really sorry. I don't want to do this. I'm not enjoying doing this. I promise. Sorry. Oh, continuity.